Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show, episode 682. I am your host, Matrixlord212, and I'm with Chris. What's up, Chris?
What's up, everybody?
All right, so, sometimes we have a lot of news that you just can't do on one cast or two, so what do you got, Chris?
All right, so I preloaded them this time. There's a fun article here from comicbookmovie.com saying 10 Marvel Studios characters most likely to show up in Sony's SpiderMan reboot. And they go, I'm not going to read the whole list. You guys want to go read that. It's a very well-written article. But some of the names on here are The Punisher, which fantastic.
It would be great if he did appear, but he's not going to.
I'd be very surprised. I don't think The Punisher fits in kind of like, Spider-Man, the tone of this Spider-Man.
Right.
Another name is Ant-Man, which I doubt, but it wouldn't be bad. I think it'd be cool to see them interact again. Kind of spoilers for those of you who haven't seen Civil War.
Right.
Nick Fury, which I think that has to happen, actually.
Yeah.
Another one is Daredevil, which, with Kingpin rumors, maybe.
Yeah.
And seeing that Spider-Man in the movie was kind of like the same level of protecting the city as Daredevil is in the show. So some of the other names on there are basically just the Avengers and whatnot. So definitely go check out that article. It's definitely a good article.
I mean, obviously Captain America and Iron Man's in there already, so
right.
I'm sure Captain America's on the list, I guess, which I would think he would appear to.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if we talked about this briefly. I don't know if you were in the cast with me or not, but I said in the cast, why don't you just bring S.H.I.E.L.D. back so that way they're there and anytime the Avengers do something, they can protect the people. Like,
yeah, I think we did talk about this, yeah.
I mean, this whole thing with the Accords, it's like if S.H.I.E.L.D. is there, the property damage, I mean, they could do force fields blocking the buildings from getting wrecked or some type of technology, and they could really have a purpose in the Marvel Universe, basically protecting, the city from the heroes themselves, just doing different things with buildings or safe locks or whatever it is, safeguards, just and it would kind of build up the show too, because I really don't understand how the show is continuing when S.H.I.E.L.D. is not really around.
Yeah, it lends credence to what that actress, I don't remember her name, but the actress in the show was saying that, like, it's almost like they don't care. It does look like that because it's like, wait, S.H.I.E.L.D's gone. How can there be an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show if S.H.I.E.L.D's gone? Now, I know they addressed that in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show. They were trying to build S.H.I.E.L.D. up again. But, I don't know. To me, that's kind of, it doesn't really make much sense to me. Like, I wouldn't have gone that way, but then again.
And I get the impression that it's passing where it gets renewed, but just barely. And it's like Marvel's like, oh.
That's the impression I get. I don't really watch it.
It got renewed.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I mean, I watched a couple of episodes at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I was just, early on, I was like, this is not for me.
Yeah, the first episode, I hated it. With the stupid him driving the car in the air. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, when I saw that flying car, I was kind of like, all right.
Throw up.
What? Like, really? Like, I know that this is science fiction and stuff, but, huh? Like,
there was another episode that reminded me of another show. Almost like a direct, and I couldn't pinpoint if it was Relic Hunter or something else. And I'm like, I've seen this before, this episode. Like, but, whatever, it's what I'm talking about. Sometimes they grow up watching shows and then they make their episodes like that.
Well, I don't really have an issue with that. I think that that you could do some you could do some good stuff with inspiration like that.
Right.
Just don't make it too obvious.
Like, I know the Arrow, Supergirl, Flash people are Doctor Who fans, which is great. They did a better Last Christmas than Moffat did with Supergirl. I don't know if you saw that episode, but It was basically the same thing, and they did a fantastic job. She was going to die. She was dreaming, thinking she was on Krypton, and basically her sister had to come in to that dream world escape with that creature. So to save her, just like the Doctor had to go in there and save Clara. So that was really good. But yeah, man, I don't know. Next article.
Okay, so we have. This is a weird article to me. It says Marvel and ABC need the West Coast Avengers.
Well, they say Avengers West Coast, all right? Well, they say
Yes,
something
they
like that. Yeah, I was a huge fan of West Coast Avengers. Okay, that was Hawkeye's team. Okay, Hawkeye made his own team because he felt that Captain America had a no-kill policy and different things, and he did too, but they wanted to do things differently.
Sure.
So it was Tigra, it was Mockingbird, it was Hawkeye, Mockingbird, Moon Knight. Iron Man was even in it, Wonder Man, Scarlet Witch, Hank Pym, Vision. It was fantastic, really.
Sure.
And there was when they had the Avengers fight the West Coast Avengers with the Grandmaster, who's also now in Thor, Ragnarok,
played by Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. So I'm all for a West Coast Avengers. Not Avengers West Coast. When John Byrne changed it and he did some weird stuff, I was like, oh. So yeah, West Coast Avengers. Absolutely. But not for TV though.
No.
I don't want that on TV. That is a Phase 4 puppy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think anything Avengers really should be special, and it should be on or on the silver screen.
Right.
Because I don't think that Avengers anything other than the cartoon should be on television. If they're going to do something like that, they got to do it live action. They got to do it,
right,
in the theaters.
And it should be a West Coast Avengers before a new Avengers. That's
Sure.
the way it should be. And maybe that will be. And they don't have to have the Avengers die. They don't have to have the Avengers disband. They don't have to have some members die and there's this whole storyline. They could just show the West Coast Avengers in Los Angeles or whatever. And that's it. It has nothing to do. You don't have to cross paths with each other. But we'll see. But definitely not for TV. I think the only thing I felt is that Agent Carter had some more pep in her step. I would say a 3-episode, not more than that. And you could have that every year, 3 episodes, which is very easy because at some point in time she could film it, And you don't even necessarily have to have a 3-part thing. It could be single episodes, mini-series.
Yeah.
And, that's it. But I never really took to S.H.I.E.L.D. as much as I tried to get into it. And Marvel's Most Wanted, no, absolutely not. So now they got a DC show called Powerless on DC, which I think Marvel's also going to have a show called Damage Control, which I had the comic. They're the ones that clean up after superheroes, and Powerless is an insurance company, basically.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a comedy, I think.
Yeah.
Which
I saw the trailer. It was kind of funny. So I think S.H.I.E.L.D. is it for next year. I think just wipe it out.
Yeah, I agree. I think that after those comments that she made, I think they're going to be like, oh yeah.
I think basically she put the nail on the show's coffin, and everybody else is probably going to back her. And it's kind of, is it me or is it still bad blood? I know people saying Joss Whedon has nothing to do with the show now, but the people that do the show kind of are with Joss Whedon,
I'd have to think that they're with him in some level.
So I would think the best thing in that relationship, because that's the thing that people is infighting, I think just shut the damn show down next year. In fact, you cancel it before January. I know they're supposed to film back. They could finish the whole season out, but, basically end it. Because I don't think they could do Inhumans if they have that on TV, because she's an Inhuman. That's kind of screwed up.
Yeah, they have a whole Inhumans team.
You can't do the Inhumans movie while that show is on TV. It's kind of, they split themselves. If you remember the whole chain of command battle and Marvel say and this one say and this TV say, remember? So it's like they would, not that they would sue themselves, but it would be like infighting. Too much infighting. So if you want to make an Inhumans movie, you have to end the show. You can't have both. So.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that Marvel, I don't think that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has...
I mean, I don't even know what the purpose is of that show. Like, what is it? Like, what is it supposed to do? I mean, is it supposed to save the world? I mean, S.H.I.E.L.D''s disbanded, so, like, what the hell are they doing?
Well, I personally think the show kind of lost its way. I think that's what happened. I think that they had an idea, and then it got popular for a little bit.
It was down, it was up, it was down, went back up again, and now I think it's down again.
I think what they wanted to do was kind of have a show that, okay, here are some smaller threats that the heroes and the Avengers don't need to worry about, but somebody has to deal with them. Here you go. But I think somewhere along the line, the show kind of forgot that that's what it was trying to do.
Right.
And they're like, oh, well, we'll just make everybody Inhumans now. And it's like,
right.
That's not a good idea.
Danette had recently told me off air that there was an episode with Lady Sif in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where she said something like she'll pass off the message to Thor that Agent Coulson is alive and he'll like that. Which, I mean...
I'm sure that didn't happen.
Yeah. Again, didn't Joss Whedon said it was kind of different universes? Like, kind of like parallel, weird, divergence from it?
He can say that all he wants, but if the higher-ups at Marvel don't want that to be, it won't be.
But has it been where they're connected, kind of? I mean, other than Nick Fury appearing for a couple seconds?
There have been a lot of things where they connected, yeah.
They're connected, right? So,
Which is why I don't buy the thing, because like I said, there was an episode right before Age of Ultron came out where one of the Inhumans was like, I see an army of metal men, and they're destroying our world. And then Age of Ultron showed up. And it was like, yeah, okay, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I don't buy this. Joss Whedon can say whatever he wants, but if the higher-ups at Marvel don't want it to be, they'll be like, nope, it's connected.
And ABC is owned by Disney.
Oh, there you go.
So my whole thing was that they could basically say, oh, it's doing great. And it's not, because that was the first show that started. So they could just want it to exist because it was the first show that started. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless. And I mean, that's what I'm kind of torn with that. I don't know what to believe. I don't know if they're just keeping it around because Disney, but then again, ABC canceled Agent Carter, which they canceled it. And people, what they don't understand is she got hired for a fucking full series. Right? So she can't do both.
Right.
So that's why they can't, they call it cancellation sucks, but if they didn't cancel it because of ratings and shit, they cancel it because she's doing another show. But whatever you want to call it. There was an article I sent to you, right? Which I found very interesting. It had to do with the Predator.
Yep.
Okay, and yeah, good.
Oh, wait, hold on.
There was other movies on there, too, which I found interesting, too.
Wait a minute. There we go. Sorry. Okay. I was looking at another article you sent me. So what? Sorry, this one's taking a bit longer to load. Let me go to another article while this one's loading. Oh, wait, never mind. Okay, so this is Shane Black talking about Predator, Long Kiss, and Lethal Weapon sequels.
Yeah.
Basically, he said here, Black's not a fan of the way Fox was just churning them out in regards to the Predator and Alien sequels in the 1990s and early 2000s. He hopes to go really big with the new one. So basically, he wants Predator to be a serious movie that's not just like, oh, here you go, here's Predator.
Right.
Is what they're trying to say, which I'm all for that. I think a really good Predator movie is necessary right now.
Which is also an opening for like a trilogy or quadrilogy, whatever the hell it is, multiple more movies, not just a standalone. Here you go, let's restart the franchise.
Right. And then he goes on to talk about The Long Kiss Goodnight 2.
Which I don't know if you remember that movie, but Gina Davis and Samuel L. Jackson, and I really loved the movie, actually. It was a great movie. It was about a woman who was like the greatest assassin, and then there was like an accident, and then she lost her memory, and then she wound up becoming like a waitress in this town, and, you know, struggling and you know, this dead-end job, and she wound up falling in love with this guy and then having kids, and then all of a sudden somebody that she went up against, her villain, came after her, and she had no clue because of the accident. And then somehow, when he was torturing her and different things, she started to remember. And the nice, happy-go-lucky woman, she's freaking crazy. Like, you know, shooting and everything, pinpoint accuracy. Really good movie.
Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, and excellent movie. That was like one of my favorite movies from Gina Davis. And they were supposed to do a sequel right away, and they didn't. So that I'm all for.
Yeah, and then he goes on to talk about Lethal Weapon 5, which I'm gathering, it looks like it could be a possibility. Yeah,
probably, because what are they doing now, really?
Yeah, really.
You know?
Other than that, that's pretty much all. Oh, and The Nice Guys, he was talking about, the movie that's coming out.
If I could talk about Lethal Weapon 5.
Yeah.
He said his big thing that he complained about is that they were so good on their own. Mel Gibson, right?
Yep.
And Louis Gossett Jr., right?
I think so, yeah.
Right? Am I getting that right? Okay. They were so good bouncing off each other, the chemistry, that after a while they started throwing people in there, you know, like into the mix with them.
Yeah.
And he said he wasn't a fan of that. Like, he wasn't a fan of people taking airtime away from them. Like, they could be good enough on their own. So he envisioned them to be stuck, I guess, in New York City during the biggest blizzard, and that stuff goes down with the bad guys, and just having them at their age now doesn't matter. Just deal with the situation. So
sure.
I'm 100% all for that. Because I thought like Lethal Weapon 2 was like my favorite movie, you know.
Oh wow, okay.
So that was that was big for me too, and 3 was good, and there was even 4. So I mean, I liked them all. So, you ever see any of them?
I have not actually.
Great stuff.
Action movies aren't really my thing, but I wouldn't mind checking them out.
I'm going to show you a trailer later. It'd be pretty funny. You'll probably get interested, I would say. There was a time when all these cool movies came out, like Die Hard and everything. And they had all these – they were a really cool cop team, you know?
Sure.
So, and then what about The Nice Guys? They think that's going to be a hit?
Yes, they do, and I heard it is pretty good.
Yeah?
I have heard that.
It looked funny. I mean, Russell Crowe was hosting Saturday Night Live that time, so, you know, that's probably why. Let me just see if I can find any numbers, because it's kind of early for that stuff. But let's see. Okay, so The Nice Guys, it's really early, actually. It's 3,880,000 in. So I can't really tell with that. But we'll see after Monday or Sunday night. All right, so, and what else did they have? What other stuff you have?
I have. All right, so there's more details on Star Trek Beyond. Well, you saw the trailer, so
I
how was
loved
that?
it. I gotta say, I friggin' loved it. Night and day. Same thing like the Ghostbusters trailer, international trailer. Great. So yeah. I'm all for it.
Basically, that's what just talking about here.
Yeah. I just hope I'm not wrong, though.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope that it's actually as good as I think it's looking to be good, you know?
Sure.
So,
oh, who knows? I mean, it'll probably be okay.
Yeah. And then we were talking the other day about Tyler Perry character playing that fly.
Oh yeah, in the next Turtles.
Yeah, I'll probably screenshot this if I can, so people know what the hell we're talking about. As long as I don't have any ads, I hate that when I get an ad in there. All right, let's see. Screen share, okay. Okay, you got it? Yeah. So basically, he becomes a fly.
Yeah.
And he flips out because he's stuck in that form or whatever. And more than likely, there will be another Turtles. I like the Turtles. I know it's corny and it's this and that sometimes, but I enjoy it. What about you?
I'm not really big. It's not just these. I've never been a Ninja Turtles guy. It's always been kind of something I tried to get into, but never could get into it. So I'm not really gonna go. So I'm not gonna go see the new Turtles movie. But you know, if they make money, why not make more of them?
Yeah. With the exception of Transformers, right?
Well, I don't mind Transformers. You know, I take them for what they are. I'm more excited for the spin-offs because they're going to be in other directors' hands, which, you know, who knows what they're going to do with that. But I think that they'll. I'm hoping we get to see a freaking Ultra Magnus movie.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. I think I sent you something.
Yeah. This is a pretty interesting article. Again, Shane Black, who's very popular now, he's commenting on Marvel and the backlash that Iron Man 3 got because of the whole Mandarin debacle, which I still haven't, really understood.
Who did Iron Man 3?
Shane Black.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So what does he say?
Yeah, so Marvel made an entire movie to apologize for it. They made this thing called Hail to the King, which is the short that they made saying that, yes, there is a real Mandarin, and it's nice knowing that, confirming now that that is why they made that, because I know that there was kind of maybe that's why they made it, but yeah, so it's nice to see that, they saw they made a mistake and they rectified it. And they asked Shane Black, would he go back to do another film? And he says, I'm such a huge fan. I'd be happy to go back under the right circumstances. I would be very open to the possibilities of Marvel. So
let him fix it. He did Iron Man 3. He understands. Made a lot of money. Let him do Iron Man 4. Did he write it?
I don't know. I think he just directed it, but I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Let's get... Here's the thing. If you're going to do an Iron Man 4, in my mind, there could be no other villain other than the Mandarin. It has to be the Mandarin, maybe the dragon, like the Fing Fang Foom, whatever, or something. Has to be the Mandarin. Has to be. Can't be anybody. That's his main villain is the Mandarin. So if you're going to finish it off, we got a hint of what the fake Mandarin could do by destroying Stark Tower, basically, whatever it was, remember?
His apartment, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, and that's what kind of ruined the whole thing, So basically, let's get to Mandarin.
I mean, everything was going great. I mean, really, everything was going great in that movie until that scene.
That was it?
Where it was revealed that he wasn't, the Mandarin. And
I wasn't really crazy about the extremists and the Pepper Potts and the...
Oh, it turned everybody into Godzilla? Yeah.
Yeah, it was just... I thought it was Scanners for a second. I don't know if you remember the movie Scanners.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. It was like, I don't know. All right. It got weird. It really got weird real fast.
I mean, what I was saying was, like, the movie just collectively got worse from that point.
It's like somebody else wrote it.
That's what it was like.
And finished it off.
It felt like two scripts kind of merged, where the first part was one script where everything was going well.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it was like, oh.
It's like a Moffat two-parter.
Yeah, basically.
You get Dark Water, which is like, yeah! And you get Death of Heaven. You're like, oh, they're slapping them into Macarena. Okay. Happy birthday, Doctor. All right.
That's a different story.
Right.
For another cast.
Right. Yes.
Which, yeah.
We already had Kiss on that. I don't know how many we had on that.
Oh, I still remember that when we reviewed that. It was like, wow.
Hilarious, yeah. It's like he was writing it, and then he got interrupted by his kid's birthday party or something.
And he forgot what he was doing.
And then he's like, "Oh, happy birthday, Dr. Macarena with Cyberman." I'm like, "What?" God!
Yeah, that was bad.
Okay.
That was bad.
Silly Moffat. All right.
Silly Moffat.
Yeah, so I'm glad Civil War happened. What's that?
Twists are for writers.
Yeah, twists are for, yeah. Happy Civil War is $1 billion. Gotta say. Happy about that. I hope it can make. I don't know if it's going to make that much more, though.
I don't think it will.
Yeah, unfortunately. X-Men's coming out, so this is it. $1 billion, 100 million maybe?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Doesn't really matter at this point.
It did what it had to do, basically. And then we just have the drama in the DC Cinematic Universe.
We have drama in everything DC now, apparently.
Listen, we got, they're like, whoa, Suicide Squad can save us. We could have Harley Quinn, the movie. 1, 2, and 3. Throw Batgirl in there. And meanwhile, they don't even think it through. They're like, throw Batgirl in there, throw Birds of Prey in there. And meanwhile, on the other side, you got Ben Affleck listening to this shit, and you got Zack Snyder. And they're like, oh, God.
Zack Snyder, in my opinion, has no say to do anything.
I know, but even in this instance, they probably both agree that, it wouldn't make any sense if Robin's dead or whatever, and then there's somebody else that he teams with, just running around.
Oh, that was another story. Just if I could jump in there for a second.
Yeah.
They confirmed that is Jason Todd's suit in Batman vs. Superman.
Okay.
So Jason Todd is apparently, quote-unquote, dead, although he's really not dead if we all know where this is going.
Red Hood, yeah. Okay. Right?
Yep.
So Batgirl, and would she be, different than Batman? Not branding iron, but,
I hope so.
Probably, be weird. It's kind of weird how Batman's like that, and then she's probably not.
Well, yeah.
She's probably the way Batman's supposed to be,
Yeah.
So.
The right way.
Which, here's the problem with that, right? It's not going to make any sense to do that, because on one hand, you're going to have the Killing Joke, and I know it's animated, but when is that coming out?
I don't know, actually.
Next year, possibly, or December.
It comes out this year, I think.
This year, okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to have that, and then you're going to see Batgirl. I mean, I know it's going to be a year apart, but it's just kind of
those movies aren't connected, so it's...
Yeah, but here's the thing. If you could do something like that, right, and say that it's not connected, right, why can't you just, connect the shit out of it with the TV show? Why can't, the Flash, they do the Flash, why can't they just connect the TV? TV's better. Arrow's better.
Because the TV show doesn't have violent murder in it.
Oh, who cares? You see what they said? The guy said about, he could play that. Grant Gustin, oh yeah, you want to be a punk? He could be a good punk.
Yeah.
Oh God, can't take it.
I'll tell you what, though, if Zack Snyder doesn't want it, it's not gonna happen.
But let me tell you something. Just like Marvel had their TV and movie war, same thing's happening with DC.
Yeah, it does look like that.
They're basically saying it's bullshit, and they had the whole Supergirl cast. They flew them out to see the movie so they could say how great Batman versus Superman is. And it's you're grasping at straws. I mean, trying to tell everybody it's a great movie. Even Kevin Smith, he said it was, you know, what did he say? It was horrible, everything. All of a sudden say, hey, you know, you're going to direct, we're going to let you direct this episode, but we think you should see it again because if you like it, maybe you'll direct other stuff. You know, like, right? Seriously?
Well, yeah.
That's what I got because that's what I got.
Well, Kevin Smith does change his mind a lot. I remember a couple of years ago, I think he said something about the Phantom Menace not being so bad. And then I was like, what? Kevin, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. But, so, DC's a mess. Hot mess. The comics are a hot mess.
Well, after what we found out today, wow.
Yeah. You ever get to the thing where you just don't know how you feel about something?
Oh, I know how I feel.
I mean, I'm kind of angry, and I don't know if I should be. It's like...
I'm not angry because I don't read the comics, and I really don't care.
I know, but see, me too. But the thing is that I grew up with these... You know,
I know. I'm a Batman, Superman guy.
I've seen every animated thing. I had all the toys. I mean, you know, I was into it with that aspect, but...
What can you do?
Listen, there's going to be a point in time where stuff's going to hit the fan and the whole dynamic's going to change. Or in this case, the DC movies are going to flop and the Marvel movies are going to stay the way they are. And it won't really affect totally the superhero community, but maybe a little. There's going to be some failures with movies, and already we had it. I know you're saying it's not. Batman vs. Superman is a success. Okay. But there's going to be something connected to this that's going to flop.
Batman vs. Superman is a disappointment. Definitely.
Right.
I don't
not
know
a flop.
what anybody says. If someone's going to try and come to me and say, oh, no, they wanted it to make slightly over what they put into it, I'd be like, you're crazy.
Mm.
You think that, you're crazy. Like, they wanted this movie to make over. I remember memes and stuff coming out saying, like, oh, it's going to make more than Star Wars. And people were like, yeah. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I knew that wasn't happening.
Yeah, no.
I knew that wasn't happening. In fact, if you remember our podcast, I was genuinely pissed at Marvel. Really bad for copying and gonna do Civil War. Like, your guys are fighting, our guys are fighting. You know? And I remember I was telling them, like, dude, this is a bad effing idea. They don't need to do this. This is going to suck. I was really angry about it because, to me, Civil War comic fucked up my Spider-Man. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, dude, because he revealed his identity to the world, and the Kingpin had a sniper shoot Aunt May in the chest, and shit was on, okay? He didn't know what the F to do. There was no way she could be saved. He had to go magical. He went to Doctor Strange. He went to everybody. He went to Doctor Strange Sanctorum. He found something that led him to Mephisto, and there you fucking go. And now all of a sudden he's like making a deal, which was like fucked up. And then for the first time in history, the entire Marvel universe was permanently altered. Mm-hmm. And there's so many effing ripples that they had to explain other shit going on because of that. And they said, oh, everything's fine. They just, when you thought they were married, they're not married, which is bullshit, first of all. So that was one of the biggest mistakes they've ever done. And, you know, then they tried to fix it. Well, somebody else tried to fix it and tried to make it like they got the Avengers involved and like, oh, we're gonna erase reality now. Let's team up. I'm like, what is this crap? Because I guess they wanted to make it like it wasn't really Mephisto because of the devil thing. Mm-hmm. So like you have Iron Man saying, even though me and Peter Parker are fighting right now, I got to do it for the kid, and we'll never remember this. And Doctor Strange is like, all right, whatever you do, don't wake up Mary Jane. And he woke her up. And what happened was, for selfish purposes, that they have to relive their life with the knowledge of their life in the past 15 years earlier. So it's like that totally made her hate him, and it was like a whole thing, you know, because now she had to relive her life from that point without them going to get married. and she can't. She hated his guts for that. So that was just like a whole other mess. And then he's in the friggin' Aunt May's making wheat cakes. And
This sounds like a mess with continuity.
well, it kind of was.
It really does.
And then I read this, and I'm like, I think I'm out for a little while.
Well, with DC, yeah. Oh.
Well, Marvel, I'm talking about, but yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So,
You know, it was kind of funny because one of my favorite superhero shows. Yes, judge me. One of my favorite superhero shows is Ben 10 Omniverse. And yes, Ben is my favorite superhero. Ben 10,000 is my favorite superhero. And there was an episode called "The Universe versus Tennyson," where in the Ben 10 lore, there are these beings called celestial sapiens, which have the ability to warp reality. They can control reality, and basically their whole job is to make sure that nothing insane happens that shatters anything in the multiverse, right? So Ben can transform into one of these beings, and he calls it Alien X. And in one of the episodes, there was this device that, if it would have went off, would have destroyed a good portion of the universe or the whole thing. And it goes off. And he turns into Alien X, and Alien X is the only thing that survives this thing going off, and he resets the universe to the point right before it goes off, and then he deactivates it, right?
right.
Well, the Celestial Sapiens are like, you can't do things like that. That's way outside the boundaries of what we're allowed to do. And there's a part where they bring up these 3 screens, and because each of the shows have a different animation style.
Right.
Each of the series, and they're like, you see these 3 things, you see why they look different, and they showed 3 screenshots from like each of the shows.
Right.
Like, that's because of us. And I was like, wow, built-in continuity. Okay.
Right. That's funny.
That's what they need in these comic books now, is something that can come along and be like, wait, hold on, let me fix it, and then it fixes it and it goes away.
And my gripe with the whole Mephisto thing was he's never that powerful. I mean, you would have to have an Infinity Gem to do that. Erase the whole entire Marvel Universe? Spider-Man interacts with everyone.
Well, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but aren't there beings in the Marvel Universe that are more powerful than Mephisto?
Yeah, I mean, there was the Beyonderer, which was before which he put all the heroes and villains on another planet. I mean, there was this Thanos. I mean, there's a few, but I mean, I don't know. It's just that was just a bad thing that happened. But we're over that, I guess. No. And then I don't like the fact that Peter Parker was with every chick there is. At some point in time, I'm like, what is this? What is this?
Hey, Peter Parker's a player, man.
He was shit.
Aunt May's giving him the tips because she's freaking... Look at her in freaking Civil War.
Well, I got to tell you, when Marvel created the Ultimate Universe, I was pissed.
Really?
I was enraged when they did Ultimate Spider-Man. Because to me, I'm like, what the... That the Green Goblin had something to do and Doctor and all this stuff, and I'm like, no. Because to me, you have to understand something. If I was collecting everything from Marvel for like so many years, right?
Sure, yeah.
They always try to do this new universe thing. People like it. Like they had 2099, right? And they just milked it for as much. And then there wasn't only a few that took off, like Spider-Man 2099, and Doom was great, and Punisher was great. And it's funny because you see like shows like Dexter, right? And I'm like, no, that's Punisher 2099. He did that stuff in the comic. Like maybe that's what they got it from. And then it's like, and now the universe was gone, And then they're like, all right, Ultimate Universe, now it's gone. And then it's like, all right, now we got Secret Wars. Let's do this. We don't even know if we're in the freaking Marvel Universe anymore. Whatever it is,
right?
I just stop. It's like.
Speaking of, I didn't mean to cut you off, but speaking of Ultimate Spider-Man, there was that game that came out that was based on the Ultimate Spider-Man universe, or the Ultimate Universe, I should say. And I was really young when it came out, so I wasn't like, I didn't know there was all this separation. I thought Spider-Man was Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know there were alternate universes and stuff.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I remember my parents bought me the game, and I was sat down and I was playing it, and I was like, yeah, this is cool. I like the story. Everything was cool. I just thought the animation was a bit different. I was used to that. And then I got to a point where I fought Electro, and he was blue. You know how Ultimate Electro looks. And
well, that's friggin' John Byrne's fault.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I don't remember Electro looking like that, so I didn't pay any mind to it.
Yeah.
And then I got to the Green Goblin, and he had fire powers. Like, he could create fire and throw. And I was like,
he was demonic and.
Yeah, I was like, where's his glider?
Right.
And they're like, oh, he doesn't need one because this is the Ultimate Green Goblin. And I was like,
what the hell is that?
What's an Ultimate Green Goblin? Right. Venom, they were like, Venom was a cure for cancer, or supposed to be, and I was like, wasn't Venom an alien?
Yeah.
What's going on? And then years later, I was like, oh, okay, like, I get it now.
There was stuff that happened in the Spider-Man comic, like John Byrne, who he's famous for many different things, right? But there's some things he does that destroys things. You know? He may be the greatest thing with X-Men and whatever, but when it came to certain things like my West Coast Avengers, he killed that. And he messed up a lot of characters. And with Spider-Man, he basically did that whole thing where it was like, he tried to do like a reboot in the comic and say it's like year one or whatever, and he tried to make it like different things where Electro wasn't like that and he was blue.
Yeah. And
then they kind of used it for like Ultimate line. You know? And he killed off Mary Jane, like in the plane, like, you know, with the famous line. And then they wound up having somebody else come into the Spider-Man comic to fix it. Okay? Because they can't have Mary Jane dead on a plane and all that stuff. So, you know, he does damage to some characters, I gotta say. Well, and ever since he did that with Electro, we never saw Electro the way he was supposed to be. They had him in this stupid suit that he looked like the friggin' Blizzard or the Wizard or whatever the hell it was, the Wizard or whatever in Marvel. And I'm like, God, could you just green and yellow? Could you fix him? You know? Even if he didn't have to wear the helmet, just, you know? That was him. So.
Well, I think one of the scariest things, too, in that game, that's when I was really confused. And spoilers, that game's been out for years, so if you haven't played it, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But Carnage is in the game.
Right.
And he has a really great design. And I was like, yeah, I can't, because you saw him in like the opening of the game, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to play this, right? And then Carnage wound up being Peter Parker. Because someone injected him with the Venom symbiote, and he had a reaction, and he turned into Carnage. And I was like, that's not how that works.
Yeah, they never people just think, oh, people are gonna understand multiverse. No, people don't. People don't. So I'm playing this video game with the kids, and I'm like, what do you mean that Peter Parker's in the future and he's an evil bastard? And like there was this, I don't know what game what was that? Shadow Dimensions or something?
Shadow Dimensions, yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? So like I'm going to listen. I was enjoying the game, and I'm beating this board. And then when they got to that shit, and you got to fight Peter Parker, and I'm like, not gonna play this now. I didn't. I just I'm done. You know, it's
it's a good one. Web of Shadows was pretty good. Where it's the symbiote. The symbiotes are Venom symbiote starts
taking over the city or something, or
they almost take over the city. There's a really cool little tidbit where you get to see Wolverine with a symbiote, and I was like, dude, what the hell?
I liked back in the day Maximum Carnage was my favorite thing, but they're all that same style going across like Final Fight or whatever, and you just like fight this guy. Even like Avengers was like that, you know. But I liked it, Maximum Carnage, and the music there, it's like the rock music. It was really cool. They even did the Separation Anxiety. Those are the best games. Those are the really good games, the Spider-Man games. I liked Mysterio's Menace on I think it was on Game Boy. That was great too. But after all these years, I still feel that they do the superhero games wrong. Like, I don't see, like, they don't pop out any superhero games like they should. They should be flooding the market with superhero video games. We should have a Hulk game. We should have a Thor game. We should have a Captain America game. Even if the movie's out or not, they have. I don't understand why we don't have a Civil War game. I don't understand why we don't have a Doctor Strange game.
Well, a lot of that has to do with the movie licenses. Like, they're like, if we want to put out a video game, we will. Nobody else can though if we don't. It's like,
yeah, but you know what it was? Activision was popping out like SpiderMan, and that's great. I mean, I'm not sure if they still have the license.
I don't think they do.
They don't, right? But like, Hulk, somebody put out the Hulk, and that was cool. Like, there was a couple of games, remember?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is Disney not have, like, I mean, what is the story? Like, why can't they put out Avengers games? Like, what is the problem with the video games that they just
I don't know for sure, but I know that whenever they would put out a movie license game, it wouldn't do well. Like, it would just be really half-assed and stuff.
So get somebody good to do it then. What's the problem?
The problem is I don't think they have it done in time. You know what I'm saying? Like, they won't have it done because look what happened with Battlefront. EA basically said, oh, yeah, the reason it sucked was because we wanted to get it out before The Force Awakens. But we won't do that next time.
Well, Battlefront 2 they're making, so that's supposed to be perfect then, in other words?
Okay, well, that's what they're – but I'm saying this, right? Like, you put Battlefront on the game. Right. It should have been a Battlefront game.
Listen, I was in GameStop working for the company when Battlefront, the original one and 2 came out.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
So when Joe's talking to me, I'm like, oh, 3? I'm like, no, Battlefront. I'm like, yeah, 3. Because I had the other 2, and I'll go reboot, whatever, okay. But don't put games out if you're going to rush the shit out.
Or if they wanted to put this game out, call it something else, and then put out Battlefront the next year or whatever.
Don't screw up Resident Evil 7. Because let me tell you something. 6 sucked.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been waiting patiently. I even hated 5.
Mm-hmm.
I loved 4. I hated 5. Really don't like 6 either. Please do it right. Supposedly now, the universe is rebooted where it's going to be like Raccoon City and just keep going. It's not. I guess it's not going to blow up or something. But I don't care. Like, you know what? I don't want to see no. I mean, 4 I accepted. Okay, wedding. It was like a cool thing, you know.
And Leon is a badass.
Yeah.
Just because.
So I accepted that, and I like Codename Veronica. But it's like, please just do the game right. That's all I ask. You know, do it right. Do it makes sense. I mean, just don't like, you know, just do different stuff. You know, you don't have to back yourself into a corner where you don't know how to fix it.
Go back to survival horror. Don't make it Don't make it like action horror. Go back to the survival horror thing. That's what people really liked. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think that you could get really crazy with it in a whole city. You know what I'm saying? Imagine a citywide game with survival horror, with the survival horror element. That'd be crazy.
You don't have to blow everything up all the time.
Yeah, really.
Every movie, aliens, blow the whole planet up, blow the whole... No, because you know what? You should do a thing where if you blow it up, the stuff spreads everywhere else. You know, explosion. I would say that. So just don't blow it up. Just continue with Raccoon City. I mean, that's what was great about Resident Evil, because whenever Resident Evil 2, you got to go in the precinct and all that cool stuff, and I'm like, yeah. And then even 3, I beat it in 4.5 hours, but Nemesis was cool too. You know, it was short to me, but...
Well, what was nice about Nemesis was, obviously in the title, you never knew when Nemesis was going to show up.
Yeah, he kept coming.
Like, you turned a corner and he was running down stars, and it was like, oh, shit, like, you know.
Right. And then Codename Veronica, what they did was they're like, listen, this is a Dreamcast exclusive. It's never coming out on any other console. And at the time, you know, I'm working and I'm like, I'm going to buy a system for one game. And I'm like, son of a bitch. And I went to Nobody Beats the Wiz, and I freaking bought the system. And just for that game, and then I'm like, all right, let me buy Crazy Taxi. All right, let me buy the Sonic this. Let me buy the, you know. But And that was never meant to be where I was going to buy games for the system. I just wanted to play my Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
I actually that was that's the only reason I bought the system. Only reason.
And Code Veronica was okay. It wasn't, you know.
Well, I liked it. I mean, it was. It wasn't. You know, it was still, to me, it was passable, I guess.
Oh yeah. I it's not a bad game. I just thought, you know, story-wise, it was okay. It wasn't.
Four blew my mind.
Four was. I liked 4, even though I was like, all right, you're getting a little away, but okay. Fine,
it got a little away, but it was good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I liked it.
I mean, replay value on that. I even just, you know, when the kids came, I keep calling them kids, not kids, but when the kids came last time, I was like, let's bust out, you know, Resident Evil 4, and, you know, we're playing it, and I'm like, you know, I love that. You know, it's just. You know what you and your kids should watch? I don't know if you guys have seen them. There are 2 animated Resident Evil movies where Leon is the main character. And they're all CGI, like it's a cartoon almost, but it's like 3D CGI. Mm. They are so good. Yeah. It's like Resident Evil Damnation or Resident Evil. I remember hearing about that, but yeah, definitely watch them if you get a chance, because they're worth watching. We've been playing Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, because I still had that. And that was good stuff, man. Soul Reaver. All those cool games, man. That's what I was saying to the kids. I'm like, you guys keep taking the systems. I got to buy myself a PlayStation. I was like, there's nothing for me to play. You took everything. It's like, but I don't know. What do you have? You have a system now or no? No, I got rid of them when I started college. I was like, you know what? Yeah, it's gonna be a distraction, so I got rid of it. And I have a 3DS. Right. So I'd play that. Yeah, I'm going to probably bend and get a system in the summer. I mean, I was thinking maybe I should just get an Xbox One, because but then wait for the NX, you know? Do what? Wait for the NX. Wait to see what that's all about. Oh, I'm getting that. That's without a doubt. That will be here. But I wanted to get Xbox. I was like, maybe should I get Xbox One? And then Joe's like, oh, I want Xbox One. I'm like, I just want something to stay here. Well, you got to wait, because I think it's called the Xbox One 2.5. And PlayStation's doing it too. Yeah. And then I saw the virtual reality stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, God. I got to tell you right now, I think that's going to be a waste of time. You really do? I don't think so. Wow. I got a funny feeling it's going to take a long time to get right. I have a feeling they tried that years ago. And they did. They did with the Virtual Boy. My friend has a Virtual Boy. Yeah, that was terrible. He found it at a flea market, and they sold it to him, and it works. Sucked. Yeah, they tried that a while ago, but I think this time it'll be good. I am very interested in the Friday the 13th game. Right, yep. Because that looks amazing. So I hope they get that right, though, you know. But there was this other game I used to play. Is it Deception? It used to be this game called Deception, right? You basically laid out traps in this castle. And then when people walked in, like, they would die a new way, like, you know, whatever. It was an interesting game. And I think they're up to 4 now. And I'm like, oh, my God, I want to get that, you know. But system, so let's see. But then they redid the Resident Evil games. He remastered them. I want to get those. And then Call of Duty, they come in. I love that with the zombies and Call of Duty, the Black Ops or whatever 3, whatever. You've obviously heard about the modern stuff about the recent Call of Duty trailer, right? Yeah, Joe's pissed. Yeah, he was telling me about it. I'm like, why would you do that? I don't want to see like futuristic, alien bullshit weapons and whatever. I mean, go back to what Call of Duty back in the day. I was playing the original ones, you know, and then they came out Medal of Honor, and then they started coming out with other, you know, they started all let's do the same thing, and then no, man, you can't. Nobody wants that. And Joe's telling me that this is what they do. They don't do what fans want. They piss them off because they know that people are going to buy it anyway. Oh, but And that's the problem. Like you were saying, if I don't like a movie, and if I don't go see it, they don't make the money, right?
Mhm.
It's a true statement, though. What you do is true. But people want them going to see it anyway, and then you never know if it's.
Oh yeah, it's hard. I was fighting with myself. I was like, "This is Batman and Superman. Come on!" And then I would go watch the trailers, and I'd be like, "Nope."
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
And you know what? You got to take a stand, man. You got to take a stand because you know what? That's a true thing, though. It is. Because then they'll make, like in other words, let's just say my money would have pushed Fantastic Four over the top, right? Let's just say I don't know how, but let's just say, right? We could have had a Fantastic Four too because of my messing around paying for those tickets.
Well, I mean, that one you could have gone to see because I guess somehow they're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but they're going to do it anyway.
They had a robot instead of Human Torch. Who did I say for that? Oh yeah, I said if they do Fantastic Four movie, make The Rock.
The Rock.
Be The Rock. The Rock will be the thing that's a rock creature.
They'll play the Thing and the Human Torch.
Right.
You can just play both. Yeah.
Right. You could. Yeah.
And then when he sees Mr. Fantastic, he has to go, I hope my wife doesn't leave me for him again. Like, The Rock. The Rock has to worry about this.
San Andreas, yeah. That was the most bullshit thing in San Andreas.
That was hilarious.
Right? He's like this. He's like, well, I buffed out. And here it is. She leaves him for this scruffy looking nerf herder. Like, seriously. Yeah. Mr. Fantastic. He got some action.
And they were like, oh, well, she was like, well, I left because I couldn't take you being in danger. I was like, it's The Rock. What do you mean?
Like his arm, like really? And he's like a puppy, He's like, whatever you want, sweetheart. It's like, he's being like cool Rock, I don't see him even getting mad, It's, I was like, that's why it was not believable. I'm like, what? Are you on medication?
Yeah, somebody sedated The Rock. Could we, jeez.
Somebody did sedate the wife that she wanted to leave The Rock.
Yeah.
And he's all cool about it. He's like, well, he's not cool about it. He's like, he does like the head goes down like he said thing.
Yeah.
Like,
he's looking at the pictures in the daughter's like jewelry box, and he's like, well, what did I do wrong? And it's like, you didn't do anything wrong. This is just stupid. Like, what?
It's like, you're the fucking Rock, man. Get that shit. It's like, oh, man.
And then I like, too, how they
love
play
him, man.
off the guy, the guy that she left him for, right? He wasn't an idiot until the earthquake hit. And then he's like, out of here. And it was like, oh.
What the hell with the daughter?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay.
I don't know how you're going to...
Fantastic. A whole new light.
To that. I don't get it. I don't
know. I have no idea. I love that movie, though. San Andreas. It's great. I loved it. I loved him in G.I. Joe, too. But I kind of got pissed in the last one because Destro was still frozen. But I love Cobra Commander. Back in the day, that voice, forget about it.
Cobra!
Even in that one Transformer episode.
Yep.
I loved that. Remember that episode?
Yep.
Love that. I was dying for like a crossover.
Did you know that? Here's a fun fact. You probably know this. Did you know that in the G.I. Joe movie, the reason they didn't kill Duke is because they killed Optimus Prime in the other movie, and they thought that it was too much of a if they killed this character, kids might like commit suicide.
That I didn't know.
It's on the special features of I think the 20th anniversary of the Transformers movie.
But he got hurt though, right?
Huh?
Wasn't there one thing he got hurt?
He got hurt, and what was going to happen was he was going to die at the end. Like he
didn't die, right?
Yeah. They animated in a scene where someone gets a phone call and they're like, "What? Oh, Duke's okay? Oh, he's gonna be okay," because of the backlash that they got for killing off Optimus Prime.
I was pissed.
Yeah,
that happened. Shit. I was just because I was a kid. What do we have?
Yeah, yeah, right.
What did you have? We have death like that. You're like what? What do you mean?
But the thing is, they didn't just kill Optimus. They killed everybody. Ratchet, Ironhide, Bumblebee survived, barely.
It got weird because it was like, the way the show was.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got to be like that. And even the movie, they're cursing and stuff, and I'm like, whoa. I was like, oh, this is wow. You know?
Again, that was another thing when I was younger. I just gotten into G1, and I was like, okay, this is cool. Then the movie came out, the 20th anniversary came out, I think it was, and I bought it, and I was like, all right, this is going to be great. And I'm watching it, and Optimus dies, and I'm like, don't worry. He's going to come back at the end. It's going to be great. He's going to beat Megatron. He's going to beat Unicron. And then it's like Rodimus Prime. And I'm like, okay, he's going to be Rodimus for a little while, and then Optimus is going to come back and be like, I'm the leader, but you're still cool. Then the movie ends, and I'm like, pardon my language. I was like, he fucking died?
Yeah, I know.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, what?
I was pissed. And then when they brought him back, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, even the music, you got the touch, do. You got the power. He's like,
I don't care about Rodimus Prime. Like, what?
I know, he's got the thing, now light our darkest hour. And it's like horny, and it was like, and then they're playing the music, yeah, you got the touch, dun, dun. And he's like, it's got the Matrix, and I'm like, what the fuck?
And everything was going great. Like, Orson Welles is freaking Unicron.
Jesus.
It's like, Megatron, you are going to be my slave. And Megatron's like, fuck you. And then, and then he's like, no.
I love Starscream, because Starscream is Cobra Commander. So
and he got disintegrated in the movie.
Yeah, I know.
I was sitting there like, did they just disintegrate Starscream?
Yeah, I love fucking Starscream. Or even Soundwave, laser beak, prepare for flight. I love him.
I'm surprised they didn't kill him off too.
Shit. That stuff was so good. Even G.I. Joe, when it first started, was so good. Storytelling was so good. The Weather Dominator and whatever the thing was, that was great. That was so different from other stuff we were watching. You know? G.I. Joe was different. It's great. He-Man too, man. Loved that. When that came out, I remember that was like one of the best Christmases in my lifetime.
Oh, yeah?
God, what year was it? It was, it was whatever year it was. And it was like my aunt got these figures that the show didn't even come out yet. Right? And she says it's called the Masters of the Universe. Like he whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these are so cool,
Yeah.
And the thing, and I was like, wow, right? That year I got my little mini arcade Frogger, Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, and Galaxian, right? And I had like the best shit, like the best memorable stuff back then, And what a great Christmas that was. And then I got so into He-Man. Like I still have my He-Man figures. I have a box of He-Man figures. And I remember when I bought Trapjaw, friggin' somebody had stolen his friggin' gun out of there. And I didn't want to wait because everybody in Staten Island sold that, so I bought it without the gun. I was pissed. But I just wanted the Trapjaw. And that, oh my God, it was just like so much. I had bought everything G.I. Joe. I bought every friggin' vehicle. I bought the friggin' base. Oh my God. I had even Star Wars. I had the Millennium Falcon. I had everything.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to kill me because she's like, well, my dad was like, there's no room, whatever, and I was like, even He-Man, I had everything. I had the spider creature. I had the thing that they fly in. Great childhood, man. Great childhood. Atari 2600, Atari 5200, Commodore 64. That was like, back then it was like Atari or ColecoVision or Intellivision.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it was like, no, I'm an Atari guy, So like I would play at my friend's house, like ColecoVision or Intellivision. But no way would I ever want that because it's like, I'm Atari. It's like,
yeah.
I was Atari 200. Commodore was a big deal, 64. But I went through disk drives for some reason. And I think my family wanted to buy me 4 or 5 different ones at it because they kept breaking. I want to put the discs in there. After a while, it would break. But and then we got Nintendo was the big deal. That was the biggest revolutionary thing. And I remember going to Optimo it was like a candy store type of thing, right? And they had the Game & Watch, which was what, I guess, the Game Boy, what all those things would become, like the DS and stuff.
Right.
Extra ideas, So, like, I got everything. I had Nintendo, I had Genesis, I had TurboGrafx 16, which was short-lived. The only system I didn't get was Neo Geo, because the games were like $150 each.
Wow.
Back then. And it was just ridiculous. But I had everything. Great times, man. Games, too. It was like PlayStation was the greatest thing. First came out, had everything for that. PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. I think it was like PlayStation 2, because then the kids came into the picture, So it was like, then I stopped playing less and less. I stopped
yeah, really.
Coming to dad, but I was playing with that, I wasn't, things started to slow down a little bit. Memories. And this thing, Zoom is not turning off?
Nope.
Look at that. I'm glad I got the kids into everything I liked. Godzilla, Doctor Who, all that stuff.
It's true, though.
I know. Just hope Shin Gojira, man, is good. Worried about that, but we'll see.
You're not the only one.
Do you realize, and again, I don't want to cause, I wanted to bring this up. Tyrone Magnus is awesome, by the way. And he was talking about, how he liked the Ghostbuster trailer. And then people were pissed because he liked it. And he lost 800 some odd subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and here's the thing, that's happened to me too. Like for some reason people have the notion that you have, if you like something they're going to unsubscribe to you. Well, no, that's not how it works. Okay. Mm-hmm. We do so many shows, right? I mean, literally, I don't know how many we do. We do a lot, right? So, of course, our opinion is not going to necessarily agree with somebody, Like, I know when we did the show Shin Gojira stuff, some people, few just didn't, agree with us about the marketing or whatever. And, look, I mean, it's fine if people don't agree. But, if you're going to start unsubscribing and you're going to start, hating, that crosses the line. But it's you come here for entertainment, right? When I'm not doing podcasts and if I'm YouTubing, whatever, right? I'll watch, Tyrone Magnus, Grade A, Under A, Becky Boop, Drum. I watch all these things, Drum Alert, KSI, PewDiePie, Mark. You got me into most of them, really. I started watching because you mentioned these guys, and now I'm subscribed to them, and,
Everybody's got to go check out JD from NY206. He's going to be the big channel. I'm telling you, one day he's going to overtake all these channels. I'm telling you.
He'll be bigger than PewDiePie?
I don't know about that, but I think he's going to be huge. I really do, because his content is great, and he's a great guy. He's awesome. His videos are awesome. All
right, you send me the link. I'll probably subscribe to him too. But it's cool. But it's funny, how people they get so passionate about, you have to agree with them.
Yeah.
And some people, I mean, I'm older than you, and I went to see Godzilla probably 79 or whatever, when I'm small, and way before you were born, and these people think that he's not a real Godzilla fan. He's not real, and they don't even know, they have a clue, how much I've invested as a fan or, these things. So when we talk about how we're worried about the marketing, it's because we want it to succeed.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't have to buy the Godzilla. I like it. What's going to happen with those Godzilla? I'm going to stare at them every day.
Yeah.
They're on display. I like it. So what? People waste money all the time for stupid stuff. People go get takeout every night. You want to spend $200 a week. Big deal. I bought I like that. So I wake up in the morning. I'm looking over. There's Mechagodzilla. There's Godzilla. Yep. That makes me happy.
Yeah, I mean, we were commenting on the marketing because we want to know and we want other people to see it and maybe like it so that if it does well, they'll make more.
That's the whole point.
The thing that worries me is that they're not doing enough to make other, because and I don't remember who said it, but I think it was the guys from Collider, which is another great channel to subscribe to.
Yeah.
But they said they were talking about something else, but they said it. They said the casual fans determine the longevity of these things. Star Wars, Star Trek, Godzilla, Marvel, DC. It's not the hardcore fans. Hardcore fans make up a lot of, of a percentage of it. But if you want things to stay in long term, it's the casual fans. Yeah. And if you're not trying to get them involved, okay, great, you have the hardcore fans involved, but is that enough to keep it alive? And sometimes it's not. With Godzilla, every now and then it's okay, but look at Final Wars. People didn't like Final Wars, and it was like, no more.
Right. And see, as I get older, it's like, do I really want to wait until I'm in diapers to see the next Godzilla? If you joke around, it could be serious. I mean, I'm 42 now, right?
Yeah.
What if they don't do another Godzilla for another 20 years?
Well, exactly.
Or 30 years. I mean, like, I want to be able to enjoy it. I can still see, and comprehend, But it's like...
To be fair, when I was talking about, Final Wars was going to be the last one for a little while, but I think he would have come back sooner if Final Wars did really well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, I mean, hopefully Shin Gojira is a big, success with diehard fans and with, maybe some casual fans, and it goes well, Shin Gojira owes its creation basically to the legendary Godzilla because that got the casual fans involved, But.
Yeah. But, I mean, these long gaps, I can't afford.
Crazy.
I mean, I like different. I like different things. Besides, I like guys. I like SpiderMan. I like Friday the 13th. It's all weird, totally different genres and stuff. But how many years did I have to wait from when Jason Goes to Hell came out?
Yep.
It's like holy crap. Or it was like A to Jason. It was like long gaps with these Friday the 13th movies, and it was like 13 years. Like how many? Jesus. Superman 2 is like, you see Superman 1, Superman 2, Superman 3, Superman 4, and then it's forever until Superman Returns comes out. It's like, what the hell is that? Can't afford that. So I want a Godzilla every year. Of course, I'm not going to get that. But if this does terrible, I start thinking, okay, they don't have a director for Godzilla 2.
That's another thing now, yeah.
And what if Toho can step in and say, you know what, we have a clause in our contract and you're not making Godzilla 2. I don't know what the contract is. I thought
that's a big worry. That's a big worry now, now that you mention that, though. Because if Shin Gojira, let's say it does really bad, the company that now owns Legendary could look at that and be like, Godzilla's not popular anymore. We're not making another movie. You can forget Godzilla 2. You can forget Godzilla vs. Kong. Oh, yeah, you're getting one Skull Island movie. Too bad. And then that's it. Then it all
That's a problem. That's a problem.
It is a problem. It's a major problem. And now it's almost like, hey, Shin Gojira, you better do well.
It's a chain reaction.
It is.
Now, here's the thing. Say Shin Gojira does well.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic, right?
Yeah.
Say Kong Skull Island effing tanks.
That's it.
We have problems.
That's it. No, that's it. If Kong Skull Island does not do well, Godzilla 2's gone unless if they have a director for Godzilla 2, they'll keep going with that. But if it doesn't have a director and Kong Skull Island does bad, you can forget Godzilla 2. You can forget Godzilla vs. Kong. You can forget Skull Island 2 or Godzilla 3 or anything they were going to do. It's done. It would be done.
See, me, I want to be in a situation where they're filming Godzilla 2 like September.
Yeah,
because I could say, all right, regardless of when Kong, it's done. It's done. Like the
I
Zack
don't think there's
Snyder
a
thing.
chance they'll start filming Godzilla.
Zack Snyder's doing Justice League, and it's like already too late for him not to do it. You know, it's like. So.
I'm a little ticked off, though. I'm a little ticked off at Gareth Edwards, though. I'm not going to lie. I like the guy.
That was effed up.
He wants to move on to other things,
That's
but I
bullshit.
don't know. I'm a little angry because he said he was going to do Godzilla 2.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little like, really?
I don't understand that, though. I mean, something happened.
He wants to do all. He wants to do
bullshit, and you know it.
But I'm like, but wait a minute. Way back when you said I'm gonna do Godzilla 2. Let me do Star Wars first, okay?
Right.
Then we'll get Godzilla 2 in 2018. Now I wish that he would have just said, you know what? I'm only gonna do the one Godzilla movie. Let another director take it, because I'm telling you, we would have got a Godzilla movie this year or next year.
Something else happened that we don't know about. There's no way. If he's so passionate about it, somebody pissed him off or something's going on with Toho and them, something happened. Because I'm going to tell you something. There's not. You mean to tell me you're so happy and passionate about it, all of a sudden that just, I want to do other projects. Thank you. That's what happened with Joss Whedon, where he's all gung-ho, Avengers, yeah. Age of Ultron, yeah. But then when he's doing Age of Ultron, him and Marvel started effing nasty. And he's like, then you got, I want to move on to different projects. Mm-hmm. That's when you hear shit like that. When I think it's time to move on, bigger and better. It's like a speech that everybody says, you know?
I wonder if it had to do with them telling him he has to do Ghidorah, Mothra, and Rodan.
That's probably what it is.
I bet you he was like, guys, that's a little much. And then they were like, do it.
Yeah. If he does a great job, leave him alone. Same thing like Sam Raimi, he's doing you know? But then when they start putting their 2 cents in, it's like, we want you to make this movie. We want this to be the script, just direct it, all right? No. Let him do what he wants to do.
Right.
He wants to have one effing villain in it. Let one effing villain in it.
Right.
You know?
He kept saying, I want Mothra in the next movie.
Right. So didn't do it. What's the problem?
And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, well, here's Rodan and Ghidorah, too, with Mothra. It's like, whoa.
See, here's the thing. You and I, the only thing that we differ in is that I've been watching Godzilla for so many decades, right? That after a while, I have to see a villain in there with him. Like, I can't just see him. To me, to me, I have to see a villain in there now. You know? It's like the Shin Gojira, it's like he's not a villain in it. I'm like, oh, you know? I like it, probably not as much, because I liked Godzilla going up against something new, or even if it's not someone new, just the differences of how he beat this person this time. Mm-hmm. And if you have, like, that's something you do, like 3 or 4 villains, is something you do with Godzilla 4 or 5.
Right, exactly.
Not now. Like, all right, Mothra in the next one, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Ghidorah in the next one. You know? Maybe then Ghidorah and what? Freaking Gigan?
Something.
Because Ghidorah's like Monster Zero or whatever. Or
and for the guy, anybody watching who may not be a Godzilla fan, we'll equate this to something else, right? This is like having, let's say, a Star Wars movie and having Darth Vader, Darth Sidious, and Darth Maul fighting one Jedi in the same movie. Or if you're making a Superman movie, having Doomsday, Darkseid, and Mongol. And he's in the movie. Right. It's like, what?
Yeah. I mean, they could do a mecha. I mean, what I would think they would have to do is they would have to establish villains. But all right, Mothra, Ghidorah. Then they could start doing like a Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla. Because that's like one of my favorite things, right? And then if you have to, you know, I mean, in one case they had Titanosaurus. Mm. You know? I don't know if they're going to do Titanosaurus, but they had Megalon, they had Gigan, right? But then they had Godzilla and Jet Jaguar, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they're going to do that, but
No, I don't think so.
Mecha Godzilla, it could be to me, it has to be Godzilla, Mecha Godzilla. Because if you start introducing Mecha Godzilla and then you start putting everybody else in there, it takes away the thunder.
Well, that's what they did in the movie Tokyo SOS. It was Godzilla, Mothra, and Mecha Godzilla. And I was like,
yeah, I know.
It's too much. Like, it's not working. That's why I don't like Tokyo SOS.
Yeah.
Godzilla against Mecha Godzilla, the movie that came before that, that was just Godzilla and Mecha Godzilla, and that was pretty good.
Right. I mean, when I first saw the original, and he was looking like Godzilla, and then all of a sudden it was like a tear, and then it's like you saw he was like a robot, and then his head spinning around. Oh, that was great. That was like one of the greatest things, and Godzilla was like trying to break the force field thing or whatever. That was because you spin, not a force, but it was spinning around so much that it was like, that was awesome. But you gotta focus on the characterization of the villain, what their powers are, how is he going to defeat this one. Just like Orca was absorbing him, and Godzilla just made sure he sucked him up, and then he shot the fire in his mouth, killed him, which was great, we need to have like too much. Like, look what they did with Amazing Spider-Man, man.
Oh,
well, that's what a nightmare.
That's what I'm saying. Everything, they put everything in that movie.
You don't need to have bigger is better thing. I mean, sometimes you don't have to go bigger. Like, I look at these Marvel movies, right? I'm saying to myself, okay, Avengers, great, Loki, right? Then you got Ultron, which they kind of did that a little too soon, I thought, because that's later on. And, all right, but now you're doing Infinity War, right? What's after Infinity War? Secret Wars. I mean, you're getting like, then do you have to? Because, like, what if you do an Avengers and it's not Infinity War, right? Like, just, right, people are going to be disappointed. Because they're going to be like, oh my God, they were Infinity War, there's 67 heroes. And you don't have to get into this trap of each movie has to be better. You run into that problem like Doctor Who that time. Like Clara does everything.
Mm-hmm.
What else are you going to do? It's like, so now if you do, after Infinity War, Part 1 and 2, if you do like an Avengers, like Civil War, but like, down to earth, they're fighting a villain, is people going to be pissed off? If they're fighting like,
I think this is interesting because I think Marvel has an opportunity here to say Infinity War is the thing. This is our thing. Everything else is not as big as this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is our moment. This is our event.
Right.
Never going to see an event like this ever again. If they market it like that, I can kind of see them kind of taking it easy with their next big team up.
But see, the way I see it, like I look at the overall picture, right? I see, okay, they see Phase 4 as Phase 1, right? So there is going to be an Infinity War type thing down the line in Phase 6 or Phase 5,
Something like that.
They're going to build up to it, and then it's going to be, or Avengers vs. X-Men, But it's like you can't, but, if they do it that way, it's okay. At least you have like a couple phases.
Well, I think that's the next step. I really do. I think Avengers vs. X-Men is the next step.
Avengers vs. X-Men, Secret Wars. I mean,
or they get Galactus back, and they do something like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, then they could always do the sequels to Infinity Gauntlet. Infinity Gauntlet was Infinity War, Infinity Crusade, Infinity, and there's 3 new ones that I didn't even get. That I'm like, oh my God, what's this now? I was just tempted. I'm tempted to get that stuff. But. All right, Chris, that's it. I'm getting tired. Good night, my friend.
Have a good one.
Everybody, take care. Bye for now.